All right, folks, it's time for the ultimate Linux face-off. In today's video, we're comparing Zorin OS 18 and Linux Mint 22.2, two of the most popular beginner-friendly Linux distros in 2025. Both promise stability, style, and simplicity. But which one actually deserves a spot as your daily driver? Stick around, because I've tested both on real hardware, and my verdict might surprise you. Let us start with Zorin. The first thing you'll notice is the design. Zorin OS 18 greets you with a polished, modern, and frankly beautiful desktop. The default layout is sleek and has that smooth, contemporary feel with floating panels and rounded corners. It's designed to feel instantly familiar to users coming from Windows or Mac OS, and the Pro version offers extra layouts to mimic those systems even more closely. The overall aesthetic is just polished. The default Zorin theme is gorgeous with its purple and dark gray accents. The icons are consistent. The fonts are crisp. It feels more modern and sleek than a lot of what's out there. So, if you're someone who cares about design, who wants their operating system to look and feel as good as it performs, Zorin OS makes a killer first impression. It's not just an OS, it's an experience that's been thoughtfully designed to welcome you. It's the distro that dresses up for the occasion. And the Pro version takes this even further with even more layouts. Now, over to Linux Mint 22.2. This one's all about comfort and reliability. Mint uses its own Cinnamon desktop environment, and honestly, it's a masterclass in stability and tradition. If you're coming from Windows, you'll feel right at home. Everything's laid out exactly where you'd expect. The Start menu, taskbar, File Explorer, super familiar and clean. It's not as flashy or modern looking as something like Zorin, but that's kind of the point. Mint focuses on refinement over flashiness. It's lightweight, fast, and rock solid. Perfect for people who just want their system to work without surprises. Whether you're doing office work, browsing, or editing videos, Mint keeps things smooth and dependable. Think of it as that trustworthy friend who never lets you down. Not trendy, but always reliable. So, for the user interface round, if you want a modern, adaptable, and visually stunning experience that holds your hand through the transition, the point goes to Zorin OS. But if you prefer a rock-solid, traditional, and no-nonsense desktop that prioritizes function over form, then Linux Mint is your winner. Mint doesn't have flashy new toys, but it does have a rock-solid software manager, a reliable update manager, and simple tools that just work. Its welcome screen is a masterclass in onboarding. It guides you to install multimedia codecs with one click, helps you set up your system, and, most importantly, it pushes you to set up TimeShift. TimeShift is a system restore tool that acts as the ultimate safety net. If you ever break your system, you can roll it back to a working state in minutes. This is an invaluable feature for a daily driver. Zorin OS 18 has an excellent software manager that supports Flatpaks and snaps right out of the box, in addition to traditional packages. For Windows users, Zorin is a standout, as it makes it incredibly easy to run Windows apps via a pre-configured Wine setup and even suggests Linux alternatives. Now, let's talk about what's under the hood: performance and stability. Linux Mint has a legendary reputation here. The Cinnamon desktop is lightweight and incredibly responsive. On older or more modest hardware, you will feel the difference. Mint boots fast, apps snap open, and the entire experience is buttery smooth. More importantly, its stability is second to none. It's the set it and forget it distro. You install it, it works flawlessly, and you never have to think about the OS again. Zorin OS 18, with its heavier custom GNOME base and slick animations, requires slightly more system resources. On a newer machine with a decent amount of RAM, you won't notice a difference. But on older hardware, that visual polish comes at a cost. Zorin does include newer kernels, which can be great for modern hardware support. So, if you're running a modern PC with at least 8 gigabytes of RAM, either will fly. But if you're on a 4 gigabyte machine or just want the most efficient, responsive experience possible, Linux Mint pulls ahead. Now, let's talk about the unsung heroes of a daily driver: stability and support. No one wants to deal with constant crashes or bugs. Both Zorin OS 18 and Linux Mint 22.2 are based on the Ubuntu 24.04 LTS, long-term support base, which means they are both incredibly reliable and supported with security patches until 2029. However, they have different philosophies on updates. Linux Mint takes a more conservative set and forget approach. Its update manager is designed to be safe and predictable, prioritizing stability over having the absolute newest software versions. This is one of the reasons it's considered so rock solid by its user base. On the other hand, Zorin OS can sometimes feel a bit more bleeding edge, bundling newer components. This can mean better performance on brand new hardware, but it also carries a slightly higher risk of minor glitches. The Zorin developers have a good track record, but the sheer size of the Linux Mint community means more people are looking for and reporting bugs, and they have a longer history of ironing things out. When it comes to community support, Mint is the clear winner simply due to its scale and age. You'll find a massive archive of forum posts and articles answering almost any question you can imagine. Zorin's community is growing and active, but you might occasionally find an issue with less documentation. So, which one should you daily drive? If you're switching from Windows or you want something beautiful, beginner-friendly, and modern, go with Zorin OS 18. It's hands down the easiest Linux distro for newcomers. If you're a longtime Linux user or you just want a system that quietly gets the job done every single day, Linux Mint 22.2 is unbeatable. It's fast, predictable, and rock solid. The kind of distro that doesn't ask for attention, it just works. The best part about Linux is that you can try them both without installing anything. I highly recommend you download the ISO files for both Zorin OS and Linux Mint. Flash them to a USB drive using a tool like Rufus or Balena Etcher, and boot from them. Spend 30 minutes with each live environment. The one that just feels right to you is the one you should install. So, what's your daily driver? Are you Team Zorin or Team Mint? Let me know in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to hear your experiences. If this video helped you make your choice, please give it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the world of Linux and open source software. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.